Frankenstein fans, we gotta talk about poor Walton. So the reason I cut talking about this last chapter in two is because Victor goes on a boat that he finds in the Russian winter, and he meets a ship captain named Walton. And you discover that the entirety of this book is Victor describing to Walton what happened to him, and Walton writing it down, and then the end is Walton adding his own part of what happened next. Now, in a moment, I actually feel quite bad for him. Victor gets sick because he was traveling the Russian winter. And he's in a bed, and he's like, when I get better, I'm gonna go hunt my beastie. Unsurprising spoilers, Victor does not get better. Also, contrary to Victor's desires, this ship captain Walton has a whole crew of people, and so the second it gets warm enough, they want to leave. They like to go back to England and not go further north to go hunt a creature. So Victor tries to like rabble-rouse them to make them excited, and it's so painful. And at first I was like, oh no one listen to this beautiful speech Victor gives because it's stupid. You shouldn't go deeper into the north to chase adventure. And thankfully the men weren't interested in that shit. And then Victor tries to convince Walton to finish his mission, and I'm just sitting there like, Walt, no. Walt, don't do it. This is Victor's whole shit. And if Victor dies, that's a Victor problem. And right after that Victor dies. I don't know how I lived many years in the classic lit space and never knew Victor dies at the end. I'm sure it's the fault of Hollywood movies, but I felt sure that Victor outlives the monster, and he doesn't. So anyway, the Fleshman just appears to come see dead Victor, and understandably, Walton's a little freaked out by this. But despite Victor's promises and pleas that the Fleshman's awful, evil, nasty, and Walton does find him scary and ugly, he listens to the Fleshman's speech, and the Fleshman makes this surprising speech about how good Victor was. This just screams of like abused child now deifying their dead parents once they're gone. And then Walton, being a Victor simp, decides to say that the creature is a hypocrite, to be precise in the language. He says the Fleshman is a hypocrite for sitting among the ruins and lamenting the fall. This Fleshman is his father's son. That's exactly what Victor does. Victor's also a hypocrite. They're both awful. And then the Fleshman says, my creator, the select specimen of all that is worthy of love and amongst men. Anyway, the Fleshman goes off into the wild to set himself on fire, and Walton goes home. So Victor dies on a boat, and the Fleshman dies in fire, and that is very fitting thematically. I love this book.